It's slowing down.
And they're coming to a conclusion of that, like a theoretical conclusion. It's almost a theory now.
What's even more?
Wait a minute, what
So-
is the theory?
Well, that's that. Yeah, as light travels, it slows down, and so like the whole expansion of the universe is like slowing down, which really affects, and especially light, and it affects carbon dating.
Oh,
Carbon
okay.
dating's based on like radioactive decay and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and it's hooked up with the speed of light.
Oh, it
And,
is. Oh.
And so
It's hard to-
with the calculations that, this one scientist, they tried to throw him out of the scientific community, but he made his way and they're starting to grasp onto it. But
Yeah.
carbon dating's all out of whack, and the Earth is about 6,000 years old according to
Wow.
their carbon dating.
Wow.
Now, where did you read about this? I thought you-
I saw it originally on
Just
YouTube.
Google. Yeah, you can Google anything.
I might have Googled it. It just kind of popped up and I kind of chased the rabbit. It's
What's-
pretty interesting.
What's really fascinating is when they split an atom, or whether it was a molecule of human anatomy, and it was microscopic, but they took it, split it, and took half over to a lab in Japan,
Oh my gosh.
and then they changed the polarity of this one over here in the United States, and the one instantaneously changed polarity over there. So that just was eye-opening.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, no, this is true. This is quantum physics,
Oh my lord.
and it just shows
Across
you.
the entire
Yeah,
circumference.
and the
of
way
Earth,
I
yeah.
took it is like God's Spirit is like that. God's Spirit is in you, and it's in me, and everyone else, and
Yeah,
the millions of Spirit-filled people. That His Spirit is in all of us, and it reacts the same way. You know?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just like that's the speed of, faster than the speed of light. It's just, happens
Yeah.
because it's the connection is there. So that's why I was looking into the Catholics come up with the Trinity, and I said, well, hey, it's more like God's Spirit. He's able to distribute His Spirit, infinitesimally,
Right.
because He can be everywhere.
Yeah.
And once you understand that, you don't have to make another person out of it. It's the same person. It's God. He says something here, and you react over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you a good one. I mean, you talk about God moving. This lady from our prayer Bible study, she's over, where Willowstone, it's an antique store over here.
Okay.
And they have an auction thing with it. So she buys this bed with a mattress, and this gal has so much faith. She just says, the other girl says, well, how are you going to get that at home? You're quite big enough for that. She says, oh, God will send somebody. God will send somebody. Me and her are driving, okay? She wants to go shopping. I get this funny feeling in my spirit like, no, I better go over to Willowstone. I don't know why I'm going to Willowstone. I just got this feeling I should go there. I walk in. I don't normally go into the auction place. I usually walk around, I go right to the doors, walk in, and she gets this big smile on her face and says, oh, God sent you to help me with this mattress. So I'm stuffing it in the back of my CRV.
Yeah.
And this kid is helping me who works in the store. And I says, Joyce knows God personally. And he just got a big smile. I don't know if he was a Christian or not. I says, that's pretty amazing. The odds of that happening by coincidence.
That's
Yeah, it was just, it increased my faith, because I was actually upset about something that was happening in my life. And I said, let's just go there because I want to calm down. And when I look at that old stuff, it takes me back,
Yeah.
And I said, that'll just calm me down. And here I didn't know that God was setting me up to help her. And I said, boy, I forgot about what was irritating me.
God troubled your waters to help that
that lady. That's a
Yeah,
good lady.
so the people that say that God doesn't move today, it's just like, that's crazy. I could tell you. I mean, look at all the stories how we met. Yeah, this is so phenomenal. You probably don't know where our church was. It was called Praise Tabernacle. That's where Tom eventually started to preach. But before he ever got there, I was going there, and I'm up there. We're building this church. It's a big geodesic dome, and
You're
I'm
physically building.
physically building
okay.
it. Physically build. Well, they had the roof and all that, and I'm up doing the balcony, ponding on these sheets. The plywood decking.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ponding on that, and I accidentally hit my thumb. And maybe a couple days later, I don't know, maybe a week later. This is in August. And I just said to the Lord, I'm divorced, and could you find me a woman? Could you find me a wife? Because I'm lonely up here. I'm doing this every
Poor
week.
thumb, too,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what he said. He dropped it in my spirit. He says, "Look at your thumb." I says, "Yeah, okay." And I had a blood blister about here.
Ouch.
And he said, this is August, it's about here. And he says, when that grows out, I'll have your wife for you. I says,
Wow.
all right. So now I'm pounding nails with great faith, So here it comes in September the 17th, okay? And Pat Robertson is running for president, and he's got this big gathering down in Atlantic City on the big screen.
Yeah.
So I'm there, she's in the back somewhere, and she said I was standing up and doing something, I don't know. But after that meeting, our little church group goes to this ice cream store. Her little church group goes to the ice cream store. I walk in, she's sitting down, I walk in, and as I look at her, the Lord said, that's her.
Oh,
And
wow.
she can pick up the story, but I had this dumbest look on my face. 'Cause
Well,
my
we were introduced. One person in his church knew one person in mine, so we made introductions all the way around. And I shook his hand and said, "Hello, how are you?" And he's going like, and the Lord said, "This is her. This is your wife." And he's going, "Hi." I was impressed. So that was September the 17th, and then I had a feeling by our third or fourth date that he was going to ask me to marry him. And I was divorced too. And I do not ever want to go through what I just went through ever again. I said, Lord, I know he's going to ask me to marry him, and if he's the one, he's got to give me a nickname. No one's ever given me a nickname, and I have a very unusual name. And I said, he has to give me the nickname Sonny. And I prayed this very, like in my head, I didn't want, and I told no one. I wasn't going to even speak it out. So we go over to a friend's house that I didn't know, and he's making introductions. And the lady says to me, now Thoris, that's a very unusual name. And he says, I don't call her Thoris, I call her Sonny.
Oh, my Lord.
And I
That's
had
what I said.
I had no idea. Why did I just say that?
He never said those words
Wow.
before.
It was
I
like,
got so
What I-
pale. The lady asked me if I was all right and needed some water. She said, "Are you okay?"
You didn't realize it was a proposal, did you? Oh, my Lord.
And
yeah.
I didn't say anything. And I
Oh,
said,
that's
"Well,
pretty amazing.
that's one time, but that's not enough for me because I'm never going to go through this again." And they came over one time, and he said, "Sonny, one so blue, I love you."
Oh.
And then we're in the car, and he's singing, "A day without you is like a day without sunshine." Well, that's close enough. and we met on September 17th, and we were married on December the 17th.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
And that was 31
well, we
years
knew,
ago.
when you get a sign from the Lord,
Yeah.
it really puts your heart at ease, And that
So
helps.
he had a sign that it was me, and I had a sign that I was to be with him. So
Yeah.
Praise God.
yeah, it was,
That is just wonderful.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it really helps too, in the tough times, when you're disagreeing about something or whatever. And then you just think back, well, no, this is the one that God cricket for you. You want to
You've
hear
got to
something?
put up, you've got to put up
You
with
want to
me.
hear something? God has such a sense of humor.
Yeah.
My first wife's birthday was January 1st. Her birthday is January 2nd. I says, God, how did you do that? Number one, number two.
There's not gonna be any 3 and 4 though.
Yeah, no. No more. No more. So that was
Well, I had a dream about Jeannie, and I knew I was going to marry her.